Arthur Smith is likely to return. That's the head coach for the Atlanta Falcons in 2024. He, to me, isn't a bad coach. Okay, Atlanta probably is going to be around 6 to 8 wins this year. If they win this division, it definitely is going to be really promising when you think about the future of this franchise moving forward, because of how bad the NFC South is right now, with Dennis Allen, Todd Bowles being awful head coaches, and Frank Wright just got fired. Arthur Smith is probably the best head coach in this division at this moment. However, him being the best coach in the NFC South doesn't really mean much. And the thing with Arthur Smith is that he's not a terrible head coach. He kind of reminds me a lot of Jeff Fisher. You know, he's good enough to have you in the middle of the pack. He can win you 7, 8 games. You can be respectable, and that's about it. Sometimes he tries to be the smartest guy in the room. He calls trick plays with his tight end, doing tight end passes instead of trying to find ways to get his first-round pick, Bijan Robinson, involved. Drake London, Kyle Pitts have also been first-round picks that Arthur Smith had a lot to say in the Falcons getting and investing first-round capital to acquire, and yet he has struggled to get them involved. And the reason for that is because he hasn't gotten quarterback right. When you have a good quarterback, it makes life easier as a head coach. He hasn't shown that he's a terrible offensive-minded coach. That's why I say that he's not a shit head coach. If he was a terrible head coach, you'll see what you saw down there in Charlotte, Carolina, having one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. Atlanta's offense, to me, is in the middle of the pack. The only thing holding back this team is their lack of talent at quarterback. Desmond Ridder isn't it. Yeah, he did want Desmond Ridder, but when you mess up or drafting somebody and they're not the dude who you thought they could have been, you got to move on and you got to pivot. I would like to see Arthur Smith get one more year in Atlanta. I know you Falcons fans are probably going to be pissed off with that, but he's not a bad head coach. Your offense doesn't suck. Your offense is at least serviceable. The only thing holding you back is quarterback play. You get the quarterback situation figured out. Hell, if you get Kirk Cousins, that could make you a playoff caliber team without a doubt. If you get Justin Fields, that could be really interesting. Arthur Smith isn't a net when it comes to having a solid game plan, when it comes to calling good plays. Like, he may have a couple of bad plays here and there, but that's every head coach. You see, when you got a great quarterback, he can turn a bad play call into a great play call. That's why Arthur Smith needs to go ahead and get him one. He's a really good offensive-minded coach. Yeah, he may not be utilizing Bijan Robinson to the best of his ability, similar to Kyle Pitts, but it's not like those guys haven't gotten involved at all. How much of that is on Arthur Smith and how much of that is on the fact that they just don't have a good quarterback? You get Justin Fields, or you can get Kirk Cousins in there, or you can trade for an elite quarterback like maybe a Kyler Murray, or you can draft a Bo Nix or Jaden Daniels. This offense is going to be way better with the better QB than what it is with Desmond Ridder, and definitely what it was under Marcus Mariota. You see, the Falcons have a playoff caliber team, and from a talent standpoint, they possibly could be good enough to win a playoff game. But they just don't have the quarterback to do so. And you need a quarterback if you want to be a successful head coach in this league. You can't be a great head coach with average to below average quarterback play. And you're getting below average quarterback play out of Desmond Ridder, especially somebody who turns the football over. Arthur Smith's philosophy is running the football, smash mouth football. You can't run a smash heavy offense or smash mouth offense that's predicated on ball control when you can't prioritize ball security if you're Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder, he's not a good game manager. And people say, well, if Arthur Smith is such an offensive-minded coach, he should be able to turn Desmond Ridder into a solid quarterback. If you can't play, you can't play. Desmond Ridder, at best, is a backup quarterback. Kyle Shanahan is one of the best offensive minds of the past era, and Trey Lance was a bust under him. Like, if you're not good, you're not good. There's only so much coaching that you can give a dude to try to put a dude in a situation to succeed if he just can't go out there and execute. And Desmond Ridder at times hasn't been able to execute. You can develop a guy and yell at a guy and coach a guy up in the film room all day long. But if that guy just can't go out there and get it done, there's nothing you can do about that. But what Arthur Smith can do is pivot off Desmond Ridder, stop bringing in these bridge stopgap quarterbacks or these average at best, these Alex Smith kind of QBs, and go out there and get you a quality quarterback. Like, I definitely believe that they were in the market for Deshaun Watson. Fuck all that. Man, it's too much money, JT. If you're a head coach and you're trying to win and you're trying to be coaching your organization for a long time, you need to get quarterback right. You get put out in bad situations when you don't have quarterback situated. There's a reason why the quarterback position is the highest paid in all of the NFL. There's a reason why the QB position is the most important in the National Football League. I get tired of these people trying to make it seem like if you're a good coach, you can win with anybody. Yeah, maybe for a few years or so, but eventually if you're trying to make it to a Super Bowl or you're trying to elevate, you need great quarterback play. They went from Matt Ryan, who pretty much was a borderline Hall of Famer, to Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder. Not good. Go get you a quarterback, Arthur Smith. He's not a bad coach. You look at his record, it's not like he's finishing with one of the worst records in the NFL, and the Falcons aren't getting blown the hell out. The Falcons have been competitive in nearly every single game that they played in this year. Now, yeah, that's because the schedule was pretty easy, but at the same time, with the better quarterback, the Falcons possibly could be an 8-9 win team right now. The defense has looked really good. His defensive coordinator hire, Ryan Nielsen, I believe that's his name, he's been outstanding. The offense just hasn't been able to hold up their end of the bargain because you got Desmond Ridder turning the football over, especially in the red zone. Like, Arthur Smith needs to get him a quarterback. That's the only thing holding back Atlanta. He may have a couple of bad play calls here and there, but that's every play caller. Nobody calls a perfect game. There's always going to be some plays that aren't good, but when you have an elite quarterback, he makes the dude calling the plays look better because he can make a good play look like a great play, and he can make a bad play look like it was a good play due to how good he is. Arthur Smith, I want to see him get one more year. If he doesn't draft a quarterback, if he doesn't try to trade for a big-time quarterback that's already established, don't even allow this dude to coach the season. If Desmond Ridder or Taylor Heineke or a quarterback that isn't really all that great is going to be starting for him in 2024, just fire him before the season starts, make life easy for you, and just go ahead and move on. But Arthur Smith, if he has some damn common sense, he'll go out there and get him a quarterback. I don't think Justin Fields would be a bad pickup. You can get him for a third, fourth round pick. Yeah, you'll have to pay for the final year of his contract, but it's only $90-something million, so it's not that big of a cap hit. With Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan Robinson, Atlanta should be a playoff team. Like, you mean to tell me Justin Fields and Bijan Robinson or Tyler Algier in the backfield wouldn't scare you? If you're opposing defense, we know how much of a monster Bijan is. Think about how much damage they could do adding Justin Fields to the rushing attack. Desmond Ridder is a really good runner, but he's no Justin Fields. Justin Fields, like, he sounded a little crazy this past summer when he said he's one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks of all time, but I don't think he's too crazy for saying that. Desmond Ridder doesn't have the athleticism that Justin Fields has. Justin Fields is like a running back when he decides to tote the rock. And he's also a pretty solid passer. He's just inconsistent. You know, he's not great when it comes to reading defenses, but there are plenty of quarterbacks who aren't great when it comes to dissecting defenses and making the proper reads. That's why as an offensive-minded coach, you should be able to come in and make life easier for them. That's when coaching comes into play. You should be able to coach that up. The Bears have been able to win games with Justin Fields. And when Justin Fields is on, he's on. Like, don't make it seem like you haven't seen Justin Fields going off, because when he goes off, he's damn near unstoppable. There's a reason why the players voted him in the NFL top 100. Like, he has the respect. They understand his situation. Given to an offensive-minded coach like Arthur Smith that, to me, was better than what Matt Nagy was and better than whoever the hell they got calling plays for them in Chicago now as their OC. Like, you give Arthur Smith Justin Fields could be humming. Arthur Smith returning as Atlanta's head coach in 2024. I wouldn't be against it. If they move on from him, I wouldn't be against that neither. But if he can get that quarterback situation right, Atlanta should be a playoff team.